You have spent over 50 years on this earth. You have worked, you have provided, you have shown up. And somewhere in the middle of all of that, you gave a significant portion of your life to the pursuit of women. Not because you were weak, not because you were foolish, but because nobody ever told you that the hunger you were feeding was never really about them. And now, at this stage of your life, something has shifted. The urgency is quieter. The chase feels exhausting in a way it never did at 30. And for the first time, you are asking a question you never had the stillness to ask before. What was that actually about? Here's the truth that most men over 50 arrive at. Not through wisdom they were taught, but through evidence they lived. The decades of pursuit, the relationships, the marriages, the situationships, the women you changed yourself for, the ones who left, the ones you left, all of it was never primarily about love. It was about a question you have been trying to answer since you were 17 years old. Am I enough? And you spent 30, maybe 40 years trying to get a woman to answer that question for you. Think about the decisions you made in your 30s, the career path you stayed on because it impressed her, the apartment you upgraded not because you needed the space, but because of how it looked to bring someone there, the version of yourself you performed on every first date, the confident, settled together man, while the real version of you was still figuring out who he was. You were not dishonest. You were desperate in the quietest possible way. And that desperation, that invisible hunger to be chosen, shaped more of your life than you have ever stopped to calculate. Because here is what the approval chase actually costs a man over a lifetime. It is not just the money, though the money is real. It is the cognitive real estate, the mental bandwidth you spent for decades managing perception, monitoring her mood, adjusting your behavior to maintain a dynamic that required constant performance. That bandwidth was borrowed from somewhere, from your ambitions, from your self-knowledge, from the slow, unglamorous work of becoming someone you actually respect. Most men over 50 look back and realize they were so busy trying to be chosen that they never stopped to choose themselves. And now, the kids are grown. The marriage ended, or changed, or settled into something unrecognizable. The career has plateaued, and what is left is something that used to terrify you and now feels surprisingly like relief. Your own company. For the first time in decades, you are alone with yourself. Not lonely, alone. And in that aloneness, something is surfacing that has been waiting a very long time to be heard. Your actual opinions, your real preferences, the things that genuinely matter to you when there is no audience to perform for, the music you actually like, the silence you actually need, the pace of life that belongs entirely to you. This is not a crisis, this is an arrival. But before you can fully arrive, you need to understand what happened. Not to blame anyone, not to rewrite history, but because understanding the pattern is the only way to stop repeating it. Here is the pattern most men over 50 lived without ever naming it. You learned early, probably before you were 20, that male value was conditional, that you were worth something to the world, to women, to yourself, only when you were producing, providing, and pursuing. The man who stood still was invisible. The man who needed nothing was boring. The man who was content with his own company was suspicious. So you kept moving. You kept chasing. You kept proving. And every relationship confirmed the same architecture. You showed up with everything you had. Your time, your money, your emotional labor, your future plans. And you handed it over, not always because she asked, but because the hunger inside you needed somewhere to go. And when the relationship ended, you did not grieve the woman as much as you grieved the project, the sense of purpose that came from being needed, the structure that came from having someone to organize your life around. That grief was never about her. It was about the emptiness that was always there underneath, the one you had been filling with pursuit since the beginning. Now here's the part that men over 50 need to hear most clearly. You are not behind. You have not missed the window. The awareness that is arriving for you now, the clarity about who you actually are and what you actually want, this is not consolation prize wisdom. This is the real thing. And the men who receive it at 50 and act on it have decades of living ahead, that look completely different from the decades they lived before. Because here is what changes when a man over 50 stops chasing and starts choosing. He stops spending emotional capital on women who require performance. He stops tolerating dynamics that cost him his peace in exchange for the illusion of connection. He stops measuring his worth by whether someone wants him and starts measuring it by whether he is building something he respects. His standards change completely. Not higher, in the superficial sense, deeper. He is no longer asking, is she attractive? He is asking, is she peaceful? Is she honest? Does she add to my life, or does she require me to subtract from myself to maintain hers? These are questions a 25-year-old cannot ask because he does not yet know what it costs to answer them wrong. But you know, you have the receipts, and that knowledge is not baggage. It is precision. The man over 50 who has done this reckoning becomes extraordinarily difficult to manipulate, not because he is closed, but because he is clear. He can see the difference between genuine warmth and strategic warmth, between a woman who respects him and a woman who needs something from him, between chemistry that builds and chemistry that burns. He has lived enough to know that excitement and health are not the same thing, that intensity is not the same as depth, that being needed is not the same as being valued. This clarity is worth more than anything he had at 30. But here is what most men at this stage still get wrong. They take the clarity and turn it into withdrawal. They decide the lesson is that women are not worth the risk and solitude is the only safe answer. And while there is real power in solitude, real peace in choosing your own company, closing yourself off entirely is just another form of fear wearing a philosophical mask. The work is not to stop wanting connection. The work is to want it from a place of wholeness instead of hunger. The man who arrives at 50, having done the internal reckoning, does not become indifferent to women. He becomes honest about what he is actually looking for, which is something most men spend their entire youth unable to name. Not excitement, not validation, not the feeling of being chosen, but alignment. The specific, rare, quiet alignment between two people who are both complete and both choosing, not from need but from recognition. That kind of connection does not look like what you were chasing at 25. It does not announce itself with fireworks. It does not make you feel like you need to perform. It does not require you to become someone slightly different from who you are. It simply fits, and you would not recognize it at 25 because you were too busy trying to impress someone to notice whether they actually saw you. At 50, you can finally see people clearly, because you no longer need them to be anything other than what they are. Here is what this stage of life is actually asking of you: not to give up on women, not to retreat into bitterness dressed as wisdom, but to finally, for the first time, engage with the world from a position of genuine self-knowledge, to bring the real version of yourself, not the performing version, not the providing version, not the version calibrated to be chosen, but the actual man who has lived 50 years and knows things that cannot be taught, into every interaction you choose to have. Because the version of you that exists right now, the one shaped by loss and clarity and the particular kind of patience that only decades can build, that version is the most valuable version you have ever been. And the tragedy would not be arriving at 50 alone. The tragedy would be arriving at 50 with everything you now know and still spending the next chapter the same way you spent the last one. Still chasing the answer to a question you already know how to answer yourself. You are enough. You always were. The proof was never going to come from her. It was always going to come from this. From the moment you stopped running long enough to realize that the man standing in the silence is exactly the man you were trying to prove yourself to be. Stop chasing. Start arriving. The rest of your life is waiting.